Mainers are known for ingenuity, and Jim Stepp is no exception. Hi, this is Harry Vanderwide. This week on Northeast Outdoors, we're going to meet Jim Stepp in his amazing step ladder climbing system. Then it's off to Lake Ontario, where Neil Collar and I let the big ones get away. Now, Neil Collar's gotten away from us, but I know he's still catching them big ones up in the sky. That's right here on Northeast Outdoors.
Brought to you by International Paper Company, Forest Land Stewards in Maine for nearly a century, the Sportsman's Alliance of Maine, we are the conservationists, the Kittery Trading Post, outfitting people who love the out-of-doors, the Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, conserving, protecting, and enhancing your inland fisheries and wildlife resources, and by the Maine Outdoor Heritage Lottery Game, insurance for Maine's natural resources, $1 at a time.
Hey, Jim, what are you up to?
Well, I'm just putting one of these step ladders on.
You know, Jim, I'd heard about this thing. I'd wanted to see it, and now I'm getting a chance to see it actually be put on by the inventor.
Well,
Oh, man, doesn't that snap in? Say, you know, here in Maine, we got a lot of clever folks, and one of them has to be Jim Stepp. Now, I've been hearing about this thing they made for a long time. Jim's a hunter and a sportsman. He's got a little bit of a problem. He wants to be out there all the time, but he does have a little bit of a problem he had to deal with, so it led to developing this thing. I've been hearing about it. I've been hearing it's the greatest way to get up a tree. Now, people my size are very concerned about getting up and down trees, so if Jim's got the right product, I may have to buy one of these. But I want to find out what it's all about. Jim, what the heck is this thing anyways?
well, it's a climbing aid that allows you to put both feet at the same level. I've got a problem with one of my legs, and I can only climb with one leg.
This is the story I heard, that you're not the world's best tree climber.
That's right.
You had to find a solution.
I had to find a solution, and this was it. I came back from New Jersey, having been unsuccessful for several years, and I started fooling around in the garage. I'm a steel fabricator by trade, and my boy and I fooled around a little bit, and
These are steel.
they are steel, yeah.
Different looking from any tree step I've ever seen before. Tree climbing aid.
Yeah.
Now, is this screwed into the tree or what?
No, it's not. It's a cam over type step, Harry. What you do is you adjust the rope so that you've got a fair amount of tension.
Okay.
And then it goes by center. You bring the point of the step up so that it's even with where the rope comes around the tree, and then you cam it over, and it locks in.
Oh man, look at that.
It snaps on really, really hard.
Boy, is that tight. Now, as I understand it, the pressure that you get on these is incredible when these tighten down.
Well, that's exactly right. One of the unique things about this particular product is that it's the only climbing aid that I'm aware of anyway, that allows the user to stress test the cord before he or she puts their weight on the rung.
Well, you actually have a demonstration you do using a bathroom scale, right, to show how tight this thing actually gets?
Yes, we did. When we were trying to get liability insurance for them, we did a little demo for the underwriters, and we used an ordinary bathroom scale. We wrapped one of these cords around the bathroom scale, and we demonstrated that during the locking process, we exert more force on the cord than we do when we stand on the rung.
Wow.
So,
now, how much force are we talking about?
Well, that demonstration, we exerted more than 300 pounds into the cord when we locked it on, and then after it was locked on and you step on it, it never got above 200 pounds.
Now this is pretty strong rope, not easy to break, but you know, I'm a big, strong fellow. You're pretty rugged looking yourself. I'm telling you, Jim, I could never, ever tie that on that tight, no matter how hard I tug.
Well, that's right. That's the beauty of the cam lock design. It's exactly like a chain binder. You set it at one setting, and then you rotate it over center, and the mechanical advantage is is amazing.
Jim, I spend a lot of time in trees. I'm a bear hunter. I hunt them spring and fall. I'm a bow hunter. I'm out there in the early fall. I'm a gun hunter. I'm out there in November. So I'm in trees a lot. But I have to say that I'm really kind of scared of trees and climbing up them. I've used just about every tree stand there is, every tree climbing system, steps, screw-ins, tie-ons, rope chocks, metal tree ladders, everything. They all seem to be, they have two things in common, it seems to me. They're very hard to get on the tree, and they're not very secure. Now, just looking at this thing that you got here, it does look to me like this is incredibly secure. I mean, I can't budge that, and yet that's not in the tree. It's only on it. How did you actually come up with the idea of creating a metal step and getting it so it would work? Where was the inspiration for that? Because nobody else has ever had this idea, as near as I know.
Well, that's a really good question, Harry. I can't really tell you that there was any one particular thing. I simply knew that I needed a climbing aid that allowed me to climb with my right leg and place my left foot at that same level. That's the only way I could climb. And I just came home and started fooling around in my garage. I had an idea of how this thing would lock. Mm-hmm. I visualized the chain binder scenario where it would go by center. The first ones that I manufactured, or that I played with, I guess, were four-pointed, and they didn't sit securely against the tree. My son and I did some work with them, and he called me one day and said, "Have you figured it out?" And I said, "Really, I think I have." What I just simply did was take the bottom 2 points and pull them together and made a triangular rung. Okay. And that was the answer. It cammed over really nicely, but it came against the tree and only one spot on the bottom, and there you have it.
But besides the fact that these are so secure to the tree, I think there's a couple other points that really need to make about these, why this is such a breakthrough, why guys like me are so excited that another Mainer would come up with this product. The first is that this is inline climbing, Jim. This is a brilliant idea for anybody who's ever straddled tree steps. You just go up this thing one step after the other, just like a straight old ladder, right?
Exactly right. That's what we are saying is this is a ladder that does not require you to lug the upright. Essentially, you can put them as close together or as far apart as you want, whatever's comfortable for you. If you choose to, you can spiral them around the tree. If there's a branch there that you want to use, you can use them intermittently. If there's a nice solid limb there, or you can place a rung above that one.
And tree shape's no problem because it's rope.
None whatever. You don't have to cut any limbs. It's not like a self-climbing tree stand. You can climb whatever there is and take advantage of whatever there is.
Point number 2, I can get 2 feet on the rung. I can stand on it with both feet in one place.
Right. Well, that was the primary prerequisite for me.
Because you've only got one real usable leg.
Exactly. And I had to be able to bring my other leg up beside it.
So you go one step at a time.
That's how I
climb. And then even up.
Exactly.
Okay, that also helps you get this thing on the tree, doesn't it? I mean, you can stand on a rung and just simply reach up and put the next rung on.
Oh, they're the easiest things in the world to put on. They are the most comfortable climbing aid that I've ever seen. You do not work to put them on.
Because you can sort of just lean back and by having yourself belted to the tree and just take whatever amount of time with both feet in one place.
Exactly right. It's just like standing on the ground.
So when it comes time to actually get your platform on there, you've got a stable base. You're not hanging by one hand to the tree and trying to get the tree stand on with the other hand.
Just right. You can take just as long as you want. If you have a little trouble, I know typically you struggle a little bit with a tree stand to get it just the way you want it. You'll put it on and it won't sit quite right against the tree, and so you've got to readjust it. And when you're standing on pegs or on a wobbly sort of ladder,
I had some adventures doing that. But listen, about this particular stand, you got a knot tied here. Is this thing hard to get on, off? What about that? How do you get these things on and off?
Well, it really isn't a knot. That's one of the beauties of this thing. When I first made these, I tried all sorts of different ways of attaching them, and most of those ways were very complicated. Actually, this loop, we're calling it a loop, is one of the keys to making this thing a really simple product to use. It's
Oh boy,
It's the
look at
easiest thing in
this.
the world to undo.
Yes.
I
Nothing
mean,
to taking that off.
There is no knot.
All right. So it comes off easy. I can see that. I can't argue that point. Now what about back?
Again, the same thing. You just come through the V and tuck the end of the rope up behind the rung.
Oh, it's just a little jam knot.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Little jam. Well, I suppose you call it a loop.
Yeah, we're calling it a loop. And the idea is
snap.
the idea is that there's always more pressure pinching the rope here than there is pulling it here, you see. So it can't slip. I put 2 of these between my wife's truck and mine, and I broke the rope before this slipped. So
okay, easy to get it on while you're standing on the ground, Jim. What about when you're halfway up the tree?
Really easy, really easy. Let me go up 2 or 3 here. Now what I do is I just take my harness.
Yeah.
I go around the tree.
Okay.
I just lean back into it. Now it's just like I'm standing on the ground.
Oh, sure. You got both feet on the ladder too, right?
Both feet, really, really easy. All you do is I'll take this one off and put it back on.
Okay.
Around the tree, just like we did down there on the ground.
Yeah.
Through the V.
Through the V.
Through the V.
Yeah.
Tuck the end of the rope up behind the rung and back under itself.
Okay.
Take the slack out. Lift it up until we're calling these the standoffs, or roughly even with the rope where it comes around the tree.
Yeah.
And cam it over.
And the only real noise you get's that little pop when she cams in place.
That's exactly right.
Very nice.
Like you said earlier, it's a snap.
Wow.
Want to try a few, Harry?
I tell you what. I think all I want to do, because I can see it's not, I can learn to do this. I can see it's easy. The only other thing I want to check is, now you're a pretty big guy. I'm even bigger.
Yeah. I'm going to put this down a little bit, Harry, because my legs are...
All I want to make sure is, can I climb it? Let me just give a shot at that.
Okay.
All right, now. Well, I hope these are as solid as they look like. Oh, Jim, look at me go. Oh, that one's way up. Wow.
Yeah, that one I made you stretch out on, Harry. That one's a little higher than it ought to be.
But look how easy it is. Well, it doesn't matter how you get up the tree. Once you get up there, you got to be safe. So we're going to put the safety harness on. There. You know, a lot of us as serious hunters have trouble with trees. There's a couple reasons for it. One is we're not as young as we used to be, and the second is that the years have brought us a little, what do we say, mass. Well, if you're a big guy and you're not as young as you used to be, I got the thing for you. It is the step ladder. This thing is amazing. It's the most comfortable, easy to put on tree stand climbing system I've ever seen. The thing I like about it, besides how easy it goes on it, is both of my feet can stand on one rung. And they're just as solid as if I was on the ground. You know, Maine folks are known for ingenuity. Jim had a little problem to solve. The result was the step ladder. He's named it for his own self, Jim Stepp. I'm glad he did it, because from now on, I'm going to be a lot more happy when I have to climb a tree. Boy, Jim, I think I'm going to go even a little higher on this one.